This is like a podcast or something, dude. But I'm sorry again. I apologize. It's the Biz Dev channel. I will be posting high quality videos, but I am so busy. Me, James, Jimmy, everybody is so freaking busy. I just don't have the time, and I've been wanting to do this channel. I just never have the time. If I wait until we got to set up lights and sit down and put up the cameras and then edit it afterwards, dude, it's going to take forever, and I'm not going to get it out. So I'd rather just do it like this to start out. Think of it as a podcast. Play it in your pocket. You know, you don't have to watch it, but this is the Biz Dev channel for Caravan Film Crews. And one thing I want to talk about today is your portfolio. And there's a lot of things I could say about your portfolio, but I think what ideally I'd like to discuss right now is how to just take better pictures and video in general. And this is especially good for beginners, but there are a ton of people out there who have been getting paid to shoot, believe it or not, and they shoot in auto, or they really don't know how to shoot in manual. They just kind of move the, you know, the knobs around and hit the ISO wherever it is, or they shoot like auto ISO or, you know, aperture priority or whatever it is, right? But they shoot in a way where they really don't know how to dial in the settings the way they want. And if you want, all right, so I'll put it like this. You have a machine that can do a ton of stuff, right? Like if I gave this camera to Philip Bloom, he'll probably do something raw. If I gave it to Chelsea Northrup, she'd do something raw. If I gave it to Tony, he'd do something raw. Everybody would do something different though. You know, if I gave it to Simeon Quarry, he'd kill it. You know, all these people would do different stuff with the cameras. Jason Lanier, obviously, like, this guy kills it, right? Give each one of these people the same camera, same lens, tell them to shoot the same subject, and they're gonna do something that looks amazing, but they're each gonna do something different probably, right? Like, they're probably gonna do something different. And the thing is that in their mind, they can envision the shot they wanna get. And then they know exactly how to dial in the settings to get the shot that they want. And keep in mind, especially if you're beginning, I know you're like on Instagram and you're freaking going through all these photos and you're like, oh my God, these photos look spectacular, amazing. And it must be full frame or whatever, right? But the thing is that you're looking at photoshopped, retouched, processed, you know, fake sky or fake background or whatever. You're looking at photos that are heavily doctored. Not to say they're bad, like, they're awesome. And shoot, a lot of those photos, I wish I could do them like that. But don't expect to get a shot like that in camera. You have to know how, like, basically what you're going to expect from the shot and then what you can do with it later. Okay? But the real concept you need to grasp is that you envision the shot you want to get and then know how you're going to get it in camera. Okay, like, that's the key right there. And so the key to, like, the number one thing, the most important thing any videographer or photographer needs to get a good grip on in order to begin really taking awesome images. Okay, whether videography or photography, shutter, aperture, ISO. I cannot say this enough. I cannot stress it enough. Shutter, aperture, ISO. You need to know when you want that blurred background and when you don't want it. If you are shooting a model, you know, and you want that blurred, creamy bokeh background, great, you know, you shoot wide open. But if you're shooting a wedding and the groom is taking shots before his wedding with his friends and, you know, he's a little closer to the camera than the other guys, guess what? Don't shoot wide open. Stop it down to 5.6, 6.3. Get all those guys in focus, and, you know, you may have to drop your shutter a little bit or lift your ISO or whatever, but you are gonna have to make that kind of decision as to the shot you need to get, and then you need to maneuver your camera in such a way that it gets the shot. Period. And you won't be able to do that unless you know shutter, aperture, ISO. Shutter, aperture, ISO, shutter, aperture, ISO. If you have, you know, let's say you are at 6.3, but it's still pretty dark, you may want to drop your shutter down to 80 or 60, right? But then you have a blurry photo if they're moving kind of quick, unless you have an off-camera flash or an on-camera flash, and you snap the photo, because the flash can freeze time very well for the sensor. So they might have been moving a little bit, but the flash can help you to make sure that those lines are crisp whenever it hit the sensor. Or, you know, you want to keep your shutter a little high, you don't got an off-camera flash or an on-camera flash, and you're lifting the ISO, but now you have a grainy image. And, you know, you have to know, like, okay, you know, if I'm shooting on a Micro Four Thirds sensor and I'm shooting at 2.8, I'm at 80 shutter, my ISO is at like 1250, you know, I really can't push it past any more than 1600 because it's going to come out grainy enough to make the image bad or look bad, you know, or it's bright enough to where I can lift it and raise the luminance in post to clean it up and have like a grainy thing. If you're not understanding these terms, like, it's not because you're dumb or anything, and I'm not trying to make you feel stupid, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of groundwork that you're going to need to cover in order to produce stronger images that will build a stronger portfolio so that you can up your price, man. You should always be trying to up your price. And, you know, you don't, like, let's say you want to cut somebody a deal. Let's say it's a couple who are getting married and you're talking to them and, man, dude, you just really like the bride or the groom, or they're just so cool, they're down to earth, and you can give them a gift of a wedding video or wedding photography at a super discounted price, you know, to where you're producing a strong portfolio piece out of it, and they're also getting an incredible discount on their wedding video or photos. And that works out because you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, in a nutshell, that's it. You just have to know what you're actually doing. I'm telling you right now, and not everybody believes it, but I've seen it with my own eyes. There's a ton of photographers out there who really don't know what they're doing, and they're getting paid, man, and they're shooting and they're doing gigs because they can market or they can sell really well, and they post only the really good photos to IG, which, you know, why would you post the bad ones? But they kind of have the same format of how they shoot and how they get stuff done, same approach to you know, shooting, and they're you know, that's what they do. So they shoot everything like that, and that, you know, any one style of shooting is just not going to work for every situation. And you have to know, like, when can you do something that's for you, and when do you need to do something for the client? Like, when do you need to produce images that you like, and when do you need to produce the images that the client is going to want? And if you don't know how to use your machine, you will not be able to do virtually either one of those. You're either going to be stuck in that one style and you never move from it, or you are never really going to, you know, provide clients the shots that they really want. So yeah, you know, that's the best way. That's like the easiest way for you to begin to produce stronger images for your portfolio. Shutter, aperture, ISO, shutter, aperture, ISO, shutter, aperture, ISO. Like, that's all you need to do is that. For now, like in the beginning, if you can get that down, you're rock solid. But yeah, so I think that's the biggest piece that you can get your mind to wrap around. But if you can do that, that's a great foundation for you to start. And then you can start adding in, you know, playing with lighting, flashes, on camera and off camera flashes, diffusers, gels. You can do a lot of stuff. And then also after that, after you're getting stuff right in camera, go ahead and start to learn how to Photoshop. You know, how can you use Lightroom to edit in such a way that really makes your colors pop, really changes the tone of your colors. And from there, like, you just start to slowly build out more and more of these different techniques and pieces that you can use in order to create a stronger portfolio so that you can up your price. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. Stay tuned. This is the Biz Dev channel, telling you it's more like a podcast than a video, like a YouTube channel. But I hope that these tips, tricks, and hacks help you to close more gigs, land more gigs, improve your craft, improve your skills, give your clients more value, and help you to, you know, do what you love while having it sustain yourself. I hope so. So, yeah, man, hit me up anytime. Contact info is in the description. DM, tweet, bro. I don't care, man. Mention me on Instagram. Everything's at Caravan Film Crews. But yeah, stay tuned for the next video. It's coming. And until then, peace.